Hello, y'all. Hello, family from Texas. This is Lulu Cheyenne. I'm a watchman on the wall. I just got off work. Really tired. And just wanted to talk some more. I'm at the car wash. Gives me more lighting. We are under a curfew, but no one's. Doesn't seem like they're enforcing it here because I still see people out driving. And the highway, the Walmart I work at is right off from I-20, and it's got a lot of traffic going on that highway, so I don't know. And people are traveling. Like, this lady came into the restrooms today while I was cleaning, and she said that she was going to somewhere else in Texas, but it was like eight hours away. And she was complaining to me about how everything is closing down, and whenever they need to stop to go to the bathroom, no one would let them stop to use the restroom, so they had to stop at the Walmart to use the restroom, and that's all they went in there for. But anyways, I have so much I want to say, but it's like when I get in front of the camera, I get really nervous, and it's hard for me to focus. But that's why most of the time I just do voice and not record myself, because it's harder this way for me anyways. But yeah, today we had more people today wearing face masks at Walmart than normal. We have meat, but not a lot. They're limited, to one. Like, you can only get, if you get chicken, you can only get one. If you get pork chops, you can only get one. We have toilet paper, but they're selling like 4 rows. Yeah, 4 rows, and it's that cheap, the real cheap kind, and it's like $1 or something. And it seems like that's all we have, and it goes really quick, so usually there's no toilet paper at all. We have zero bleach. There is no bleach. I keep looking for bleach, and I can't get bleach. Um, and there's no hand sanitizers at our store, or face masks at our store, which I find it kind of strange that they aren't stocking up on that. And then, they're restocking the store at night, and it's not looking as bare, but it's still got some empty shelves, but not as bad as it was. And they have put some limits, like you can only get so much of certain things, and but right now, wearing the face mask at work isn't mandatory. They're not making us wear the mask. It's like up to us if we want to wear it or not. And let's see. Oh, and in Abilene, Abilene, Texas, is not too far from where I'm at right now, and it's really close. There's one. They said there's one death. Let me see if I have it with me. I took the newspaper clipping. Taylor County. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. I hope y'all can see it. Anyways, I took the news clipping, and that's our first case, which got some people kind of worried. I have a son, and he's in Stanford, and he's not too far from me either, but he's in Texas too, and I worry because he's not here with me, and from what I was told, he's on lockdown too over there, and they can't go to Abilene. see, Abilene is like the hot spot for little small towns and around here in Texas, and like that's where the mall is. That's where we go to the mall. We have Walmart here where I live, but there's bigger Walmarts over there in Abilene, and it's just a bigger place. And so so a lot of people are concerned now because of that first case that we got, which, like I was saying before, I don't know if these are crisis actors or not, and that's why I wish that people that are honest people, that would let us know, like keep us informed what's going on in your families, so we can figure all this out, and that would be really nice. And what else was I gonna say? Oh, and the reason why I brought up the Mark of the Beast in my last video is the watchmen on the wall and the people who are, been awake and they're watching, they know what this is about. They know this was planned. This was on purpose. If you look up, the coronavirus has a patent. I actually downloaded it to my phone. It's a PF. What do you call those? Those files that you can download. It gives you that option when you go to the website. It's patent, and you know where it's patent from? USA. And a lot of people, they just can't believe, like, why would our government come against the people? Why would they try to kill us or stuff like that? Well, they're coming after us because they believe that we're overpopulated. That's one reason. And another reason, and maybe y'all might think I'm crazy, and I really don't care anymore what people think about me, to be honest. I've been a watchman on the wall, like I said, since 2009. I've gotten beat up a lot over that. My life has been changed because of it. So I gotten to the point where I guess my skin's gotten kind of tougher now, and I just really don't care what people think no more. If they don't like me, that's fine. They don't have to like me. But I really think that what's going on is there's reptilians that are they're the fallen angels. If you read Genesis 6 in the Bible, it talks about fallen angels mating with the humans and having hybrids, and there were giants in the world. Well, these reptilians are the hybrids, I guess. I'm really not sure if they're the hybrids or they're the actual fallen angels. Maybe someone can explain that in the because other people know too. If they can explain it underneath in the comments section, that would be great. But I just know about it, and I've actually seen them, so it's not fake. I've seen them before. I'm not scared of them, because I know Jesus Christ is way stronger than they are, and and they have the ability to do things. When you research the internet and you find these people that can levitate things or do stuff that we can't do, basically that's what they are. They're not humans. They look like humans, but they're not, and they do things that we're not capable of doing, and they like to show their talents, and like on YouTube, and people actually think they're just normal people with special ability when they're a hybrid or something like that. So these reptilians, they don't like the human race. They hate us, and that might be another reason why they're trying to kill us off. But I know that the Bible talks about there would be a time like this, and we're here. See, Satan wants to kill as many of us off as he can, because a lot of us are still asleep and we're not awake, and we're not repenting. We're not reading our Bibles. We got our heads stuck in the sand. A lot of us would rather keep our heads stuck in the sand than to know what's going on around us. You know, we're too afraid to know what's the reality of the world. You know, it's too frightening for a lot of people when God didn't give us the spirit of fear. You know, we're supposed to be, what do you call it? We're just supposed to understand that God's in control and not be so afraid. And, you know, I'm not saying that I'm not afraid, but it's just that we're not given that. That's not from God. And we just need to give it over to Jesus and know that He's in control. And whatever happens, it's God's plan. He uses evil and changes it to show good. You know, it's hard to explain it, but all of this will be used to glorify God in the end. And we just have to hang in here. But the reason why, like I was explaining earlier, that I was bringing up the mark of the beast is this has been set up a long time ago, depopulating the world. Look up the Georgia Guidestones. The first commandment that's on there, it says that they want to, you know, I can't remember how many people, but it says like keep humanity under something balanced. You know, you have to go look it up, and then look up Agenda 21, and then look up the FEMA coffins and FEMA graves. You know, and then they even have FEMA camps, and some of these camps have gas chambers, like they're getting ready to kill us with gas. You know, I don't know what they got planned, but I think their main goal is to come after us Christians and people who are for freedom. Like, you know, because there's going to be some that aren't Christian, but they're also going to face the same kind of torture that we're going to face. I'm sorry, my hair is tangled in the back, and it's making me uncomfortable. But yeah, they've been planning this for a while, since probably the year 2000. I think that's because I watched the video for that, the coffins and stuff, and they're called like coffin liners or something. They can stack like maybe 5, or I don't know, maybe 5 people in one, you know. So, you know, they've been planning this stuff for a while. And then I was also, I used to be on a truck. I used to have a boyfriend at one time. We were supposedly engaged to be married, but we never did get married. You know, long story, but it's okay. But anyways, I got to see the world, and while I was out with him, I saw military equipment being moved all over the place. You know, they were, you know, and this was a long time ago. I mean, they've been, you know, you can still see them moving military equipment around. You know, and this was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not sure. Maybe even longer than that. So they've been moving military equipment, you know, like getting set up for something. And then they've been trying to take away our weapons, you know, take away our guns. And that was the reason why they, you know, have their crisis actors go in and shoot up schools. And there's a possibility that these crisis actors that they hire to do this are actually killing people, you know, because this Illuminati, Luciferian government, you know, they worship Satan, and they don't care about life. They don't see us as any importance at all. And there's people that are working for them, like, you know, that they go and do things for them like that, and for some reason they think they're going to benefit in the end, you know, and honestly they're not. They're going to get the wrath of God. That's what they're going to get, and they're going to really wish that they didn't worship Lucifer and take his bribes, whatever it is that they're getting for doing all that stuff. Like, they're going to look at it more like a Happy Meal whenever it's done. They're going to feel like they got screwed. Sorry if that's a bad word, but they're going to feel that way. I know I would feel that way if I was working for the evil side, thinking I was going to get something great out of it, and then come to find out that, I'm burning in hell, not realizing that's where I was going to end up. Also, when you're doing your research, look up ID 2020. That has to do with this virus too. And Bill Gates, he's working with computers at one time, and now he's helping to manufacture a RFID chip. I'm sorry, I had to stop the video for a minute. My son called me, and I was talking to him for a little bit, and then as I was talking to him, we talked for a while. The police officers came and checked on me. I got a little nervous. I thought I was going to get in trouble. They asked for my ID. They wanted to see who I was and why I was out. They thought it was suspicious that I was sitting in a car wash. So I had to deal with that for a little bit. And then I asked them if I was in trouble for being out this late, and they said no. And I asked them if we were under a curfew, because I was told that we were under a curfew, and apparently we're not, from what the cop said. He said that we're not under curfew. We're just they would prefer us to stay home right now. So I guess I'm good to go. I can stay here, because I told him I was trying to make a video. He asked me what kind of video I was making. I just told him I was making videos, which they are for, Christian videos. But I didn't want to go into the conspiracy stuff with him. But I'm okay. I locked my doors. There was some random person walking behind my truck with the dog, and they just kept pacing back and forth. I don't think they knew I was in the truck, and they might have been thinking about checking to see what I had in the back of the truck. All I got is a bunch of junk. Need to clean it out. But anyways, I want to get back to what I was talking about. I got off track. But anyways, what I was trying to say is that the reason for this, the reason why I brought up the Mark of the Beast in the last video is because they're using this this virus for they're using the virus to bring in the New World Order. And with this New World Order, it's a one world government, a one world currency, a one world religion. It's a one world leader. And right now the popes are saying that they got their Messiah. Well, not the Pope, the rabbis. And they're just waiting for him to receive his powers. So, that's the Antichrist. And I'll get into that in a little bit, but that's the Antichrist. So everything is set up. Everything is in place. The Antichrist is here. They got everybody on lockdown with this coronavirus. Let me fix the coronavirus, and so they're ready for their takeover, and the coronavirus is perfect way to take over. You get everybody scared and staying at home, and that's why I want to know, is there really a virus or not? But anyways, y'all heard me talk about that already. But this is what this is about. Even if that virus is real or isn't real, they did it for this purpose, for the New World Order. And with this New World Order will come a cashless society. People will be afraid to handle the cash because of this germ, the virus. They're going to get scared to handle, money. And so people are already saying that they won't accept cash because they don't want to get sick. It's just an excuse to bring in their mark of the beast, basically. And then on top of that, they're trying to force, the shots. Honestly, I don't want to get their shots. I've been doing fine without a shot. I don't need their shot. If I get sick, I'll do home remedies like colloidal silver, or maybe somebody was recommending sitting in a tub with peroxide or something like that. I'll try other ways to try to get better. Vitamin C. I'm not going to take a shot, and if I have to die, then that's God's will. Because why take their vaccine when they're the one that caused the problem anyhow? That's how I look at it. Why if they caused it, why are you going to go back to the people that caused it to get them to fix it? What's going to be in that vaccine that's probably just as bad as the virus itself? You never know. Changing your DNA or something. But I don't trust the vaccines or anything like that, so I'm not going to get it. And then they're saying something about what is his name? Bill Gates. He's working on he used to do computers, but now he's working on some kind of technology that goes in your hand that's going to be able to tell what vaccines you've gotten. And so I'm not going to get that either, because the Bible says in 2 verses, not just 1, 2. People think that it's only in 1 verse. No, actually there's 4, to be honest. There's 4. Okay, I'll explain. 2 of them have, I should have got my Bible. But there's 2 of them. One is, it talks about the mark of the beast, he will cause all rich, you know which one I'm talking about, right? If I'll put, what do you call it? I'll put little pictures in the video so y'all can see them. But there's 4 scriptures on the mark of the beast. That one is describing the mark of the beast. One is talking about the ones who got killed, got their heads chopped off for not accepting the mark of the beast. And it's got it in that scripture too. And then there's one that talks about what happens to them when they get the mark. They'll get blisters, gross blisters all over their bodies. And then there's another one that talks about what happens ultimately to them, that they will go to the lake of hell and burn with the false prophet and the Antichrist forever in the pits of hell. So there's 4 scriptures, and they all talk about the mark of the beast, and it says they did not accept it in their hand or their forehead. So people are out there trying to twist the scriptures to make them sound like it's talking about something else. I don't know why y'all would want to make it about something else, to be honest with you. To me, it sounds like they're trying to figure out an excuse to be able to accept the mark so they can participate and buy groceries if it comes out, and say it's just a Sunday law. As long as they don't worship Sunday law or whatever, be part of that Sunday law, but they got a chip in their hand so they can go get groceries. Or they're just trying to figure out a way to make it okay for them, because I feel like deep down people know that we're in the end times and that we're there, but they're trying to deny it. They're trying to figure out ways to make it in their own mind, well, convince themselves that, it isn't what it is. Or these people that are saying that, maybe they're part of the sheep. I mean, the wolves in sheep's clothing. That's how you say it. Wolves in sheep's clothing. Because they are trying to lead many astray, that they'll follow in after them, believing that, that it's not a literal mark, so that they would actually get it whenever it comes out. I really hope that people open their eyes and realize that we are in the end times, and this is real. And the Bible says, do not take the mark of the beast. Do not take anything that goes in your hand or your forehead. And this virus has a patent on it, like I was saying earlier, and it's from the United States. And this has been planned for a long time. I've been warning people that this was coming, but I didn't know how it would come. I mean, to be honest, I had a kind of an ideal, but I didn't know they were going to use a virus, I knew they had their coffins and stuff like that, but I was always thinking it could be a, like an asteroid or something, but that still could be a possibility, because if y'all look up Comet C19, that's getting really close to the Earth right now. Y'all just look that one up. And, so maybe they just they're not trying to tell everybody about this comet, because they know that if they do, that people are going to go crazy. Maybe that's the point. I really don't know, but I do know this. I think it's weird that they're arresting preachers right now. They're holding church, right? But they're releasing criminals from prison that done some horrible things, like raping children and women and killing and murdering. They're releasing them, from what I understand. This world is getting really, really crazy. I hope Jesus comes really soon. I don't want to be here much longer, but I mean, of course, we might be here for a little bit longer. I don't know. I have a feeling that we will be raptured out soon, but like I said, no one knows the day or the hour, but I'm hoping it'll be soon. And another thing I wanted to bring this up too. You worship who you obey. If the government tells you, or the president tells you, or the one world leader, whoever it is, or the authorities tell you that you have to take a chip in your hand to show that you were vaccinated for this, this virus, for this virus, you have to get that to show that you've been, like I said, vaccinated for it. And you have a Bible that tells you that you're not supposed to take the mark of the beast that goes in your hand or your forehead. But you decide that you're going to obey your authorities over the Bible or over God. You have chosen who you worship, because you chose to worship man. You chose not to worship God when you made the choice to take the chip. So you worship who you obey. So you know how people say they think that the mark of the beast, when you accept it, I guess you're going to be on your knees worshiping him, and or I don't know, they have like this ideal in their head about how it's supposed to be given to you. Maybe you stand in line and you pledge your allegiance to him and you bow down and worship him or something. That's what they're thinking, something like that. And then they get a chip in their hand. Sometimes things aren't going to be as crystal clear as that. It could be that you get this chip and you may not even know that you messed up because it's a deception. You know what I mean? You have to be prepared for all kinds of deceptions and not just think that you know something like a certain way, or don't go with your own understanding. Go with what the Bible says, but don't paint a picture in your mind thinking that you know how it's going to go down when it may not go down in that way that you're thinking, because the Bible doesn't say that you're going to stand in line and pledge your allegiance and bow down and worship and then get a chip. It doesn't say anything like that. And when you worship something, you worship comes in all kinds of ways, like admiring, obeying, I don't know, complimenting, raising your hands and praising. There's different ways that you can worship something or somebody. And also, I wanted to explain this. Not all worship comes from the heart. People can also worship out of fear because they're afraid, what might happen to them if they, don't follow what this beast system is telling them. So you could worship something out of fear. The story about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You think the people they were in a group. There's a bunch of people there, and the king was telling them, bow down to his statue. Bow down. And then the people, they knew that if they didn't bow down to that statue, that they were going to get put into a fiery furnace. Well, that's enough to scare the heck out of those people, to make them bow down to that statue, and they're worshiping out of fear. Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, they were like, I'm not going to worship even out of fear. And the king got mad that whoever was making them do that, and said, throw them into the fiery furnace. And y'all know the story from there, where they didn't ever get burned. Jesus was in there with them. So just wanted to point that out too. You can worship out of fear. So don't get confused with the word worship, as being just out of love and compassion only, because you can worship out of being afraid. So please, whatever happens, do not take the mark of the beast, and don't listen to these channels that are saying it's just a Sunday law, or it's just some kind of imagined thought in your head, or something, you're not being able to work, or whatever they're saying like that, because they're just going to try to lead you to hell. And I hope they themselves don't take a chip or a mark in their hand or their forehead. It's okay if they want to believe it's in, some kind of mind thing or hand thing, but just don't take the mark. Don't take a chip in your hand. Don't take it in your forehead. Don't take for them, if you would look at it like this, it would be like their, what do you call it? The stamp that shows that they are following after the beast system. Not only is it in their head, but it's like an outward, a badge or something that shows that they are worshiping the beast system. But I'm trying to think if there is anything else I wanted to say. I just want to say thank y'all. On the other video, I had a lot of good, nice, and sweet comments, and I really appreciate that. And I was kind of taken back on it a little bit because I didn't expect all that. I really appreciate that. And I guess I need to get home. I gotta go cook, and there's people coming back behind my truck again, and so I need to get out of here and go home. And I love you all, and God bless you.